I decided to grow out my hair because a bunch of people told me not to, and I don't like listening to people.
It was kind of just out of laziness.
Low legs, a lot of changes going on, COVID, everything. And I said, you know what? I'm not going to shave for a while. Just at home. Why shave?
The chicks wanted me to, so I did it.
It's just easier this way. I have a built-in mask, and I thought I'd take the Mr. Snap route.
Depending on the friend, a bunch of friends think I'm stupid, but I got Colby with the mullet that he supports it.
I feel like it depends on the person, because some people think that it's nice because of how I keep it clean and everything, and then some people are jealous because it's straighter than theirs.
Kids hate it. Every day, Daddy, shave. Daddy, it hurts when you kiss us. Daddy, my wife, honey, will you shave your beard? I'm still holding out.
My friends like it, but my mom told me to cut it.
He's a little jealous because he couldn't grow a beard quite like this.
Quarantine called for some desperate times, and I had to try to cut my own hair, and it was okay.
I'm not, because I don't trust myself.
No. Like 5 minutes. I get in the shower, get out, and that's all.
I just kind of get out the shower, blow dry it a little bit, and then call it a day.
Head and shoulders, and a nice brushing about once a week.
Really, we just kind of go with the flow.
Another thing I want to point out, I can't really grow hair on my head, so it's kind of nice to have at least hair on my face. So.
Hello there, Lakers. Do you guys remember the summer of 2020? The good old days, as I may call it, except they weren't the good old days because the school was closed down? Well, the kitchen wasn't. The bus drivers and the kitchen staff have worked tirelessly over the summer to provide lunches for everyone around campus wide.
How many lunches were made?
During our spring shutdown, we made 75,000 meals total. Now that included breakfast and lunch, but there were 75,000.
We made anywhere between 350 and 380, somewhere in there. We made those every day. We set tables out in the cafeteria and used it as an assembly line to pack all our lunches.
Who all was involved?
As far as preparing the lunches, all of the cafeteria staff, the people that you see in the kitchens every day, from each building were involved. Our educational assistants helped to pack and to distribute those meals. Our bus drivers helped to deliver those meals, and our administrative team also helped to distribute those meals. So it was a total team effort.
We have 5 staff members in our kitchen, so every day they would come in. I would come in at 4:30 and start, and the other girls would come in at 5. And by the time they got here, I had everything pulled, ready to go. Everything was marked, and we just started packing from then on.
Was it a struggle making them and getting them out?
I will say from my standpoint, I'm kind of lucky because, I'm the boss, so to speak. From my standpoint, it wasn't all that difficult because we have great people. But I will tell you, behind the scenes, especially our cafeteria ladies, they really put in an extra lot of time and effort to make that happen. You can imagine packaging 75,000 meals and the time and effort that takes, lugging those huge containers onto the buses.
How are the lunches distributed?
They were distributed with our bus drivers. And one thing that we told our public when schools closed in the spring, I shouldn't say closed, when we went to the online format, there was something kind of unique in the law that required anyone who worked at a school to still receive their pay. And so one of my goals was to tell our public, hey, I know that you pay taxes to support our schools, and we want you to know that our employees are still working.
How often were they distributed?
It changed actually a few times throughout the spring because, we had to kind of get the timing down, and we had to determine, what students actually were going to take the meals. We started out doing it, pretty much every day. We eventually got to a system where we were doing it twice a week.
They were distributed on Monday and Thursdays. On Mondays, we packed for Tuesday and Wednesday, and then on Thursday, we packed for Thursday and Friday.
So now that you know what the bus drivers and the kitchen staff had got up to over shutdown, please don't hesitate to thank them for all that they do. I'm sure they'd appreciate it.
Do you ever wish there were just more classes offered? Well, you're in luck, because there is.
And my first reaction was, whoa, excitement.
For the first time, we were offering a video editing / animation course as an independent study.
My wife and I are co-teaching advanced quantitative reasoning.
Well, Gracie, it's called The History of Rome.
So this year we're offering modern craft and drawing, which are new, but we're offering painting again for the first time in a few years. And then our Art 3 and 4 have turned into advanced art, so they're the same class, but they've got a new name. Advanced art has about 23. Drawing and painting are both large classes that are full with about 23 students, and then modern craft only has about 12.
This year we had 2 students who had shown an interest in going beyond what we were able to offer with Graphic Design 1 and Graphic Design 2.
It's almost like the most popular elective ever.
5, only 5.
It's definitely an adventure. It's something that's new to me. I think it was made pretty clear to the students who were interested that my background does not include a lot of experience with video editing or animation. And so it was truly going to take on an independent study type of an environment.
I like it. I think it's fun. It's not your normal math class. I mean, the title can be kind of scary, but it's not what it is. It's more a hands-on approach to learning and using tools to solve problems, and it gets away from the normal lecture daily math.
It's been really exciting to be able to dive right into projects.
Oh, was I ever excited.
I'm hoping word gets out. I think after we get a year of doing a lot of fun stuff, more people will be interested.
Definitely an interest. I don't know what the capacity would be. This year we only have 2.
Yeah, I think next year after some of these students take this class, they'll retake the class, and I think that it'll be easier for students to fit these classes into their schedules.
We're turning them away already. If you feel that you would like to compare the Roman Republic to the United States and its republic, please try to join or get on the waiting list. See your local guidance counselor now.
Working with someone super intelligent, creative, just genuinely awesome is pretty cool. At least that's what she says.
It's been really interesting teaching a class together this year, but I've been told that sometimes I roll my eyes at his bad jokes a little bit too often.
I liked Rogers as a teacher, and I thought it would just be a fun, easy class.
Oh, buddy.
I just needed another math class.
Because I get really nervous for tests, and I wanted to make sure I would get a good score.
Counseling just threw me in the class.
This is miracle.
It's definitely different. It's a little off topic sometimes, but I like it.
The class is really easy for the most part. It's going good. We all kind of do our own thing and work at our own pace.
It's just basically an independent kind of thing.
Yes, if you think that it will help you get a better score.
But yeah. If you want an easy, relaxing class, then yes.
Oh, there's a lot else, but we have limited time because we're here to educate you, the student.
Dude, why is this not working? I wish I just had a Chromebook that would actually work so I could get my schoolwork done. Well, hopefully here soon. We all will.
Why are we just now getting Chromebooks?
The reason why we were phasing the project in is because it's so expensive to get Chromebooks for every single student in the district. So we received some money as a result of COVID from the federal government, and it gave us kind of that shot in the arm from a financial standpoint to be able to purchase those Chromebooks for every single student in the district. So we wanted to make sure our teachers had plenty of professional development, because we feel like if we just hand, a teacher or kids Chromebooks without improving our instructional practices, then all we're doing is just giving fancy technology and not necessarily improving, our quality of service.
Do you have internet access at home?
Yes, I do.
Will a Chromebook help you do better in class?
Probably.
What grades will receive the Chromebooks?
We're gonna provide them K-12. However, only grades 5 through 12 will be able to take those Chromebooks home every day. K-4, we just didn't really feel the need for them to have them home every single day. However, if we would get into a situation where school has to shut down completely like it did in the spring, then they would be able to take them home grades K-4.
Would you want to take care of a Chromebook for 5 to 6 years?
Not really.
And is this going to help you every day in class?
Not really.
Would you want to take care of a Chromebook for 5 to 6 years?
If I had to, I would.
And will you use a Chromebook every day?
Probably not.
What happens if someone breaks their Chromebook?
As long as the student wasn't being negligent and didn't try to break it, didn't punch it or throw it down the stairs or do something crazy like that, then we're going to work with the families to get those fixed. And that's really what that $30 fee helps to pay for. It also helps us to replace Chromebooks each year.
When will they be here?
Well, that's another good question. We ordered them really early in the summer, and we were so excited because we had an August 1st delivery date. However, the U.S. and trade with some foreign countries that had some unfair labor practices, the U.S. decided to stop trade with some of those countries. Unfortunately, those were countries where Lenovo Chromebooks were being built. So we have been delayed. We've been told by the end of September they should be on campus. I will say too, one thing that I think students might be interested to know, it was about $220,000 to purchase the Chromebooks that we purchased. That doesn't even cover every single student. We had to repurpose some of the Chromebooks that were already on campus.
Reese, if you could change one thing about the high school, what would it be?
I would probably say maybe come to school an hour or so later. Like, I'm tired all the time.
Air conditioning upstairs.
Yep. If you could change one thing about the high school, what would it be?
The yellow tiles on the wall because they're ugly.
Agreed.
The spider problems, because when I go to the bathroom, they're usually in the toilets.
You're joking.
No.
Get rid of the ant problem.
Where are they at?
Everywhere. We need to have a scheduled nap time because everyone's always tired. So, and you'd also be graded in that class.
I would change we are not allowed to have our phones at school because for a number of reasons they could be very helpful and they kind of give kids a chance to like cool down. But then again, some kids would use them in the wrong way, so that's why that's not a thing.
If you could change one thing about the high school, what would it be and why?
The phone rule, because I just don't think we should get our phones taken away if we have it on us.
Well, I think the number one thing I would change about the high school is the lack of classes over birds. I think birds are very interesting subjects, and I think it's a detriment to humankind that we don't have an ornithology class here.
Do you think people would take that class?
I would, and lots of. Hey, how many of you would take my ornithology class?
Boy, the thing I would change the most is I'd like to have air conditioning in the whole building, not just on the two ends.
That's a tough one. Probably the one thing would be the internet. Maybe we could have like lightning speed internet that, as soon as you clicked on something and went right to it, that'd be awesome.